Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is The Art of Prepping. Over the years, I've watched countless videos on YouTube on the topic of prepping, survival, homesteading, and pioneering, among others like bushcrafting. And I have to say, there's different personalities on the web that you either get along with or you don't. And and typically content is either a hit and miss as well. But regardless of content per se, just in terms of the personalities, I've come up with three types that I have a hard time with. And maybe it's just me, but I just wanted to share that. And the first one is what I call the salesman prepper. It seems like that they're trying to blend informative information about how to be a prepper or how to do certain bushcraft skills, and then they slip in various products continuously, pretty much every video. And this is different, though, that I'm talking about from channels that are what you would consider full-time gear reviewers. Obviously, they review gear. So you would expect pretty much every video to be plugged and promoted, or especially if they're sponsored by a company, that they're going to have that kind of salesman attitude. But there's a lot of channels that they try to play off as if, we don't have anything to do with anybody else in terms of sponsorship, and they are sponsored, or they are constantly trying to get you to buy through their links Amazon products. That kind of gets kind of freaking old. Sometimes I go to a channel for entertainment. Sometimes I just go there for information that I really need or want. And so it's really confusing to the viewer when one minute you're plugging a product for your own benefit, and then the next moment you're trying to help me. And so sometimes the line gets blurred. The next type of prepper channel that I don't like is the end of the world, the doomsday prepper channel. And that gets really tiresome very quickly. Now, when I was younger, I found it to be a bit amusing, but that soon, got tiresome as well. I just can't even handle it anymore, Like I can't even sit there and even watch for a few moments someone saying that, nuclear war is tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and it's like, well, it'll be next week. And they're always pushing back dates, and they're always saying economic collapse, this and that. And while there's always a possibility for problems in the world, it's pretty amazing how many times, literally in the last decade alone, just in the last decade, there's a few times I actually wrote down dates that people predicted things. And I think in pretty much every situation that I can think of, they were wrong. I used to listen to a lot of shortwave radio, and there'd be preachers on there preaching, and they're like, this is going to happen, and all of them are wrong. And the same thing with a lot of these more extreme doomsday predictions. In all fairness, not all preppers do, predictions and all this stuff. So it's just a small group, but nonetheless, the doomsday prepper channels, you won't find me there. And lastly, and this is kind of funny, but I call it the PhD prepper. Now, this is the kind of prepping channel that they'll tell you how to do anything and everything, and then you're like, huh, okay. But then when you turn off the channel, or you walk away and you do something else and you reflect on the information, you pretty much figure out that it was all kind of BS, or it was a lot of fluff, and you really didn't even learn anything. You just heard a lot of big words. You saw a lot of pictures flash on the screen, and you didn't have any usable content, like really didn't have any kind of core material. The PhD prepper, and I'm sure there's a lot of preppers out there because I've seen them personally myself that have good content. Obviously they do. There's a lot of good channels out there, but there's probably maybe like 3 to 5%, in my opinion, that I've seen in my life that they act like there's some kind of genius. And some of them actually have, advanced degrees, and they think, though, that trying to push big words that people don't typically use on an everyday basis is going to be beneficial to viewers. Sometimes it comes off as intelligent. Sometimes it comes off as that they're just being ridiculous. And so there is a point, that you have to find people that are down to earth. and that includes the use of their language, and also people who are not sensationalist that constantly try to hype their content by throwing 10 pictures in your face every 5 seconds just to kind of keep you stimulated, because what they're saying is so dumbed down and lack of content that it's hard to get through the video if you didn't have a lot of visual sensory information. And so that's just the top three that I have that I try to stay clear. Your mileage may vary. If you have any thoughts about this, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thanks again for all your support. And, just to make sure I clarify that the great majority of preppers that I see on YouTube seem to be very good, balanced people. This is probably a small percentage overall that I have a problem with. And even then, I try to be so neutral that I don't even call them out, by their channel names and stuff. I try to, unless I see something that is so over the top, dangerous or insane, I probably won't comment about it, just because it's not really in my nature to stir up a bunch of drama. I mean, there's a bunch of drama that's already out there right now, as we probably know, in terms of certain big YouTube channels that just get overly excited because one person said something and another person takes it personal. It's kind of silly when you kind of step back. So anyways, you guys take care, be safe, and stay tuned. I got some really cool videos coming up very shortly.